451 goals in 438 appearances. That is mind-boggling. July 6th, 2009, one of the most critical days in football history. So it was one of the most critical days in football history. Because you know how people always say that, what if Cristiano Ronaldo had stayed at Man United? It would have been interesting. Because I wish there was like a device, there was like a, if it was called like FAU, Football Alternate Universe. Like in an alternate universe, what would Cristiano have been if he had remained at United under Fergie and so forth? And what would he have been if, let's say, Fergie had left, Moyes came in? It's an interesting thing, but it didn't happen. So there's no point in us talking about that. So he's always going to go to United. He's always going to Real Madrid. As I said, once Real or Barca call, that's a phone call you have to take, specifically when you're from that area, whether you're Spanish, you're Portuguese, you're South American, that kind of Latin side. It's all about Barca, Real Madrid. There is no club higher than that, No offense to Man United, but it is what it is. So, July 6, 2009, he was presented, he was unveiled, and this was the next Galactico, So this was, I feel this was like the second phase of Galacticos. Like the first phase was obviously Zidane, Ronaldo, Beto Carlos, Figo, and so forth. That was the first phase, who didn't really live up to the expectations. So this new phase, I think, Kaká was introduced as well, Benzema, and of course your boy Cristiano. And him going to Real Madrid, looking at what he did at Man United, you were like, oh man, like Real, they've gotten this is the next big superstar. Him obviously winning the Ballon d'Or at United and so forth. I knew he would be a hit. I knew he'd be a huge star for Real Madrid, but I don't think that we ever really envisioned exactly what he would do. 100% he exceeded the expectations. He exceeded the expectations. When you just look, he exceeded expectations for output, for sure. Nobody thought the kind of output he had was insane. We saw what the potential could be, hence why it was like, man, like what if, let's say, he was with Fergie for like 2 or 3 more seasons, how much further could Fergie have pushed him? How much more could he have done? We never really know. But I always say that, man, if only we had that, we had the more continuous, evolved version of Cristiano at Man United. 09, no, sorry, like 08, 09, 07, 08. If we had like that 07, 08, 09 version of Cristiano, but much more evolved, imagine what would have been. A guy who could dribble, the step overs, the free kicks, taking the ball from the halfway line, running half the length of the pitch, left foot, right foot, long, ray rangers, solo goals. Imagine if we just had that guy, because I said that guy, I always said, people always call me Ronaldo hater and so forth. I was there at the start of Cristiano. Okay, at the very start. I remember that game United against Sporting Lisbon where they said, oh, we have to have that guy. So I was there at the inception. And I know how good he was. I know how good he is. I remember him sitting on Ashley Cole. I remember all these things. So I just wish we had that evolved version at Real Madrid for the plethora of his career at Real Madrid. Like just for the bulk of his career, I just wish we had that kind of dynamic, dribbling, individualistic guy who could just create magic by himself, which is what he was doing like almost every single week in the Premier League for United. But despite that, check this out. 451 goals in 438 appearances. 4 UCL titles, 3 Club World Cups, 3 Super Cups, 2 La Liga titles. Should it be more? 2 Copa del Reyes, 2 Spanish Super Cups, 4 Ballon d'Or awards, 3 Golden Shoe awards. I don't know whether that's Golden Shoe or Pichichi. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive, but the one that just strikes me, and I've always been bringing this up, 451 goals in 438 appearances. That is mind-boggling. That boggles the mind. That stat is just amazing. Because, whenever you score more goals than appearances, that's crazy in and of itself. But when you just look at those numbers, just 451 goals, that is staggering. And then you look at, because I remember even doing the football halls through the last decade, that's where guys like Elche, Granada, and so forth were born, because I always used to be like, okay, 8-0, 10-2, 9-1, 5-0, 6-0. And you're like, oh, see Ronaldo hat-trick, see Ronaldo double, see Ronaldo 4, see Ronaldo 3, see Ronaldo 4. So this guy was hitting 4 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, 3 pieces, 5 pieces, 4 pieces, 3 pieces, 2 pieces, 4 pieces, 3 pieces, just hitting, just pieces. It was, like pieces of a feather. This guy was just hitting pieces. So when you just look at the consistency and the volume of goals that he was hitting guys up, this guy was G'ing up to a frightening rate during his Real Madrid tenure. Frightening. And what's even crazier is that UCL thing, man. Is that UCL? I told you, the UCL, that's my home, because that's where the elites are. I do not know how anybody beats that record that he has. I do not have any idea how anybody beats that record that he has, because that record right there, it's madness. It's a mad record. It is a mad record. I believe the record is 17. I believe that the record is 7. Yes. 17 goals. And he did 16 in 15-16. So to score 17 goals in a UCL campaign that he did in 13-14, then the very next season in 15-16, 16 goals. That's madness. In one single campaign, that is madness. I mean, obviously, Benzema came very close and so forth. Lewandowski came close. But, because when I look at 17 goals, it's basically in 11 appearances, 17 goals in that 13-14 season. That is outstanding. So, amazing, and which just why it just shows, Real Madrid they're an interesting club, very interesting club, because when you just look at a guy's output, what he was doing, his contributions, you just think that a club would be literally on hands and knees, like this, their knees would be sawed and so forth in, like, please, I beg you, make una stay, I beg, I wait see where they go, I beg you, please, make una stay, oh. But Real were like, no, the club is bigger than you. The club is bigger than you, because I, for 1,000%, thought this guy, he is gonna be a remedy for his whole career, or at worst, for most of his career. Last year or two, he goes back to Sporting Lisbon, so finish the last 2 years. At no point did what is happening now in terms of he now goes to Juve, he now goes to Man United, now he's not trying to find another club. I never thought this would happen. I just thought, oh no, bro, look at what this guy has done for Real Madrid. Look at his contributions to the UCL. Could have won more La Ligas as well, but La Liga's there as well. But look at his contribution, his output, what he's done. There's no this guy leaves. He's here forever. So the fact that he actually left and so forth is mad. It was crazy, But then again, it's like, Christian's like, look, if I've given you this 451 goals in 48 appearances, pay a boy. I'm worth it. And then my thing is that that's where you have to just respect Perez and Real Madrid. You have to respect that these guys are big dogs. Most clubs, whatever you want, will find a way. Because we're not finding anyone unless it's Messi, who at that time never lived in Barca, and he ain't ever touching Real Madrid. Real were never going to replace that kind of output from a Cristiano. So for most guys, they'd say, bro, we can't replace him. We can't replace him. You're getting on your whole pep thing, man. Like you said, no, we cannot replace this guy. So yeah, man, it's crazy. I really thought he'd retire to Real Madrid. I really thought he would. But yeah, no, it's an interesting retrospective to look back in terms of just what this guy did at Real. And for me, for sure, he superseded expectations. But so, remember, guys, if you want to contact your boy, email your boy, any footballing questions whatsoever, head over to the official website, halfoffootballhot.com. Bottom right-hand corner, just send me an email there. I'll do my best to respond. And also, if you want to just keep up to date with everything your boy Half Hope is doing, my Twitter feed is on the homepage of the official website, halfoffootballhot.com, so you can keep up to date with everything that is happening footballing-wise on the Football Hot. Peace out, stay true, stay real, and we'll talk more about this on tonight's live show. I'll see you there. Peace.